Welcome back, Mere Mortalites, to another special edition of the Mere Mortals. And what we're going to be talking about? Goals.
Monthly goals.
Monthly goals, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binaries? Nah, I don't give a shit. No, let's do this. So, monthly goals. It's July, damn it. So, monthly goals. Now, what do we do this? Why do we do this? Basically, just reflecting on the goals of the past month, how we went about it, into the future as well, what we're going to be tracking and doing. If you've listened to some of our conversations around annual goals, mid, long-term goals, it's just the way that we plan our ways. So Let's kick it started. Let's go into the goals that were
how we went
the previous month. I'm going to get straight into mine. Got everything done apart from one.
Really?
Which was suffering into running, sinking into the suffering of running.
You did not get even close.
Well, I actually was going to tick it off as yes, because this one wasn't so.
Yeah.
It was to sink into the suffering of running. And I didn't intend it to be a thing of, hey, I've got to do X amount of runs or I've got to match my thing. No. The whole intent was, no, I just need to go and run. And whenever I can get a chance to go running, and when if it's a 5K, 10K, it's just, and it's going to suck, sure, but just sink into that suffering. So it wasn't the whole ability of, oh, okay, I'm going to make sure I go. But even I didn't do that. There was actually one time when I chickened out and actually got some running, but not what I intended to do. So I did not sink into the suffering, and for that, was a big fat no against that monthly goal.
Bummer.
So,
all right, me, not such a great month for me. So there's a couple of things that I did not do, almost half of them. So
okay.
2 new meetup groups.
Time to fucking wreck Kyrin right here.
No, so those 2, I had, the plan. I'm going to do it on this day. Was sick, and then just
that's true.
The further it went on, so that sort of took out the first 2 weeks almost, because I didn't want to go out while sick and infect other people, and I just felt shit.
Yep.
And then I did have time. If I really wanted to, I could have gone out. And you even asked me about the one on Saturday, and I was just like, nah, it just wasn't happening. So those, put that down to a combination of me just not wanting to do it, me hating the cold weather, me getting sick, all of those sort of combined. Investigate a Mere Mortals NFT. I got too dragged into the world of the podcasting 2.0 to really dive into the NFT world. So I am, though, I would say, still learning a lot about cryptos. I am listening mostly to, when I have free time, to listen to a podcast.
Cardano. Yep,
like Cardano, Vitalik, just basic one. Like even in the mornings, I'm listening to like a Spanish explaining one, so it's sort of like I'm getting some Spanish practice, and it's
some double.
Yeah. The bookmarking 5 intriguing events in the calendar. Actually, I think I'll get this one done because I've still got a couple of days left. How many days left do we have of the month? 2 or 3 days.
2 days.
So I think I've got 3 in there that things that I want to do, and so I'll find another 2 to put in, because it doesn't need to be like for this next month. It can be for just
whatever
just
month,
in general. So clean up all the house. I'm probably going to do that on Thursday, which will be like the first of the next month.
Okay, yeah.
So, but yes, I will going to do it. Like as you were saying, like you can maintain like a level of grime and dirt. For me, it's reached that point where it's like no. Needs a proper good clean. I did sweep out the garage. It's already dirty again. You bringing in your things and whatnot. So
drive the car in once, bam.
Yeah, pretty much. Implementing takeaways from Naval podcast. I honestly just haven't even got around to looking at that. So that's another one. Preparing plan for German transition. So I'm now doing. I thought, I'm doing German again. I should start looking more at actual strategies, getting more into how I learned Spanish, learnings from that, and not using Duolingo too much. But I think that only makes sense if I'm doing more than 15 minutes a day, which I'm not prepared to up at this moment. So I just want to get back into it, get into
a routine before you go balls deep into it.
Pretty much. So what I am doing though is I'm adding more Spanish podcast, German podcast into my listening. So every time I drive now, that's my German time. That's okay.
Nice.
Just listen to them. Trying to find.
Are you at the point where you can understand a little bit of it?
Just bits, man. So like I'll pick out individual words and sentences and be like, immer. That means always. I know that. Or Badezimmer. That's bathroom. Okay, I get that. So I'm getting to that point where I'm starting to pick up enough of the basic words that everyone uses, those 90% words that you use in everyday language sort of thing. So there's no real point for a German transition because I'm not going to do it in the next month. So that one didn't occur. And then booking in a volunteering for July did not occur because I've made some decisions about what I'm going to be doing in July. So that
leads in a
did not happen.
Nice transition. So, yeah. Obviously, a little bit of learning for Kyrin. There was some sick time, so obviously took away. But yeah, there seemed to be a lot of things there
But there was a lot of things there, and
like for me, it sounds like, sure, you couldn't go to a place because you were sick, but then my mind goes like, well, that Naval stuff didn't need you to go.
Yeah,
out to
that
do it.
Just pure laziness. I don't want to say laziness. It's just priority changes is the main thing. I think. And I think this really, I'll just talk about this now, relates really directly to my learnings from the last monthly goals. So and from the retreat I did. So from that retreat, I basically came out of it and just like the main thing that came out from it was, it wasn't any metaphysical learnings of the universe. It wasn't.
Yeah, it didn't talk to God.
Yeah. God didn't, come down
God
to me
talk to you.
and maybe that means because I am God. Who knows?
Yeah.
And
that's pretty much the final thing.
Just come out of like the gigantic raging narcissist. What it came out from that was, man, Kyrin, why are you doing some of these things to yourself? There is a point where
suffering.
There is a point where discipline goes too far, and I well and truly reached that point. I reached it with the running, I reached it with the podcast, I reached it with the meditating. All of those things just made me go, okay, you've proven to yourself that you have discipline. You've proven that you can do these things. You've done it in the past, so it's not.
But do you need to continue?
Yeah. Do you need to do this right now? And so, what really came out of that, and I think this reflects sort of why I didn't get so much done this last month. It was because I was having more fun doing things that I was starting to enjoy. So I put more time into the thumbnails, for example. So I said I'd only need to create 2 or 3 different ones. I ended up creating like 7.
Yeah.
And so and those require time. Those require time and effort. But it was time and effort that I had fun doing.
It was enjoyable stuff. Yeah.
So yes, I could have just said, I've done 2, let's go on to the next goal, tick off these goals, or treadmill of striving and doing
goal
that.
Ticking. Yeah, you also have to it's a funny balance between you set up a yearly goal, you'll set up a monthly goal, and you want to actually tick it because it keeps you accountable, it keeps you disciplined.
Yeah.
But it can't also be in complete lack of fun and just living life because sure, you don't want to after 70 years be like, oh, I ticked all my goals, but had a really shit time doing it. Now, it's going to be a bit of a mixture.
Yeah.
So there's an art and a science to it.
Yeah. So my learning from that, and when I look at some of my yearly goals, for example, so reading the Tripitaka or whatever, I'm not going to do that anymore. I've slightly changed that in my own head to be learn more about Eastern philosophy, which I have done. I know a lot more about Zen, about Taoism, about Buddhism now.
Sure.
Do I need to go and read these texts, which I have already attempted a bit? Go back to the infamous caterpillar episode and the 5 reasons you can get erections, things like that. I just don't need to force myself to read that anymore. So
and again, even that is the learning of, a year ago, you thought, or like, 9 months ago, you thought like that would be the goal that I want to do. And then you come to the realization, actually, no, that isn't the goal that I want to do. And I've achieved what I actually wanted to do in another way.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the ultimate learning. That's what you wanted out of the first place. So, someone might say like, well, see, that's the reason why goal setting, if you're not going to follow it, doesn't work. No, idiot, because in setting it, you've actually acted out some things and learned something else, which in the end is what you were trying to learn anyways.
Yeah.
That is what you were trying to learn.
If you think of it, it's like the zigzagging towards a thing in the future, which is what, sort of what you have to do in life. You can't just sit down and do nothing. No, you have to do something. So you might as well do something where you're pointing somewhere. And that's like the first zig in the zag.
Sure, yep.
Just doing something, then you get to learn from it, then you can go forward. So with all that being said, I have not set myself any goals for this coming month. Yeah, I just thought I've got enough stuff on my plate. I'm taking a full 8 days out of the month to,
hopefully travel.
Hopefully travel with my family. I've got a couple of remainders from this last month, which I want to tick off anyway. Yep. And I just went, you know what, like all of those combined, do I really need to be at a point right now where I'm pushing for the next thing in German, pushing for the next thing in Spanish, pushing for the next thing? nah, I think I want to have a little break. So this is probably just going to be a 1 month thing. But yeah, for July, there's no goals for Kyrin.
Very good. So it's already 100% and 0%.
And 0% at the same time.
At the same time.
Like we were talking about with my in the last episode with my my ability. What skills do I have really at fitness? I'm not really good at anything, and I'm basically shit at everything. So that's how I see this monthly goal. I've done it all because I'm shit at it.
I'm shit at all. Very good. All right. Well,
now it's
I'll plow through my July goals.
Juan's turn to speak.
A very, very brief summary of it is the fact that my goals begin in August, 1st of August.
Yes, your next year.
Pairing with my birthday.
Yes.
So this is the last month I've got to fit my yearly goals.
So do you want to give us a rundown of your yearly goals?
No, not right. It'll probably take too long, to be honest. But just a reflection. I went through and had a quick little reflection of the yearly goals. And I went, yep, it's where I want it to be. So generally, I've got a little bit of a tracker. So all of my goals have pretty much a rating from 0, 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%, 100% in terms of completion. And then I sum up all of those, and I pretty much say to myself, I want to try to get to about 85% completion out of a year. Currently, it's 74%. So will I get to 85? Maybe. Depends. There's a couple of things that maybe I will be able to tick off and say that I've ticked off.
Yeah.
A lot of them are not quantitative things. They're very qualitative. There's more like, okay, maybe I'll look at it and go, did I actually attempt to do this throughout the year and give myself a value based on that? So in saying that, a lot of these goals will be reflective of the fact that I'm going to take some time away to prep for my new yearly goals, right? So,
yes.
Just a couple of things. So first, in the, body space. So I got 3. 1, I'm walking 96 kilometers, so there's got to be something around this, but mine's a simple one. I just want to complete Kokoda Challenge with a smile on my face.
Okay.
So this is basically like literally, I want to make sure that I walk across that. So it's obviously completing Kokoda Challenge, 96 kilometers, but I want to make sure that when I walk across that, I have like a smile on my face. And we've already talked about the team and getting like a couple of custom-made shirts, like tie-dye shirts, so we can put them on right at the end and walk across. And I want to make sure I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be smiling when I walk across that.
Yep.
That's one. I'm going to shift my training even more functionally into Olympic lifting. So I've already started making that change, but into the July period. This is probably one of the biggest changes I've ever done to my training. So I've always been pretty adamant that I can still train all my normal stuff plus CrossFit plus. Can't do this anymore. I cannot do that anymore. So my training is actually shifting. So I basically have like no arm days, no specific days. Very functional, very Olympic lifting. So that's how it goes. Like, because I know already I've got a little bit of a strain. I'm like, I don't want to do that. So we'll see. I've resisted it in the past. So I'm going to make it a full goal to do it at least for a month. Maybe a surprising one. I want to take a 30-minute stroll through nature with nothing but my own thoughts. No podcasts, no listening to anything.
That sounds like suffering, man. You're going the opposite way.
Needless suffering. Although,
just love how hyped you are of doing something like anyone else in the world would just be like, okay, yeah, that sounds, I don't need to make a goal for that. Exactly. That sounds fun.
Please let me do it. So I'm going to force myself because I know I love to do it, but listening to a podcast or doing something. But there's going to be like, go out on my own, just walk 30 minutes. With no goal, basically. Yeah. With no goal in mind. Just go.
A goal to make.
Because I know that a lot of the times when I just do that by accident, I end up thinking of this like awesome things or these new ideas or all this sort of stuff. So I just want to make the time for that to happen. Moving into the mind perspective, and I've got 11, by the way, total goals. I want to create 10 book review pages. So pretty much gathering the images and posting them on the website. Easy, straightforward to do.
Just takes time.
Just do it. Yeah. Just do it. Pairing with that, I want to connect Amazon to at least 5 of those. So I don't know how easy, how hard it's going to be.
Yeah.
That means for you, me Immortalites, if you check out our book reviews online throughout the month of July, you are also able to contribute and help us out. You can click the Amazon. Yeah. If you want to buy hard copies, which, look, not a lot of people do. You don't do. Yeah. I sometimes do. I do it from the store. But if you can help us out that way, look, we're not saying you have to. We're definitely not saying you have to. I was going to say it's there in availability if you want to use it.
And I'll put this out right now. My book choices are not going to be dictated by how available it is on Amazon.
No way.
Yeah.
Like we might pick some books that are not on Amazon. Like I'm honestly telling you, there might be some books that are not there.
There's so many. Like I thought about it yesterday when I was doing a reseña, and because we're doing an Aussie book month. None of these books are translated into Spanish. It's like, well, what's the point of doing this? Like, is this ever going to help anyone? Like, maybe because, that channel is a bit more informational.
Well, maybe the translation would be the only translation.
Well, that's the only thing they'll have out there.
Exactly, yeah. So you're like the only person who's ever translated it to English.
I'm actually, this is probably actually the best thing I've ever done in terms of, what the internet's sort of for. Connecting the world and creating
You are literally creating something new here.
So,
amazing.
So that's actually, and guess what? How much money am I ever going to make out of that? Zip, nada.
Yeah. Another one, just this is all of mine as well, and Mere Mortals and Invasion Money, business, etc. Clean up the website across text and images. Already did that. Already did that today. Bang, done. Killed it.
Hasn't even started the next month yet.
Smashed it. But I will claim it because I wrote this a couple of days ago, so it's already claimed.
Yeah, gotcha.
I want to take a day out of this month to plan out the new yearly goals. Makes sense. It's a whole day. Try to make sure whether it's a weekend or whatever, at least 6 hours. Like at least 6 hours of just really thinking about it. I've got in my mind an idea.
Yeah.
But again, I like to go through a process of just dwindling down exactly why, where's it going, and really looking at that eminent human being sort of goals that I look at. And then review my influence across all channels, specifically because that's paired to an annual goal. So I want to pretty much set a goal at the beginning of the year where it was, I wanted to 10x my influence, and that meant specifically wanted to be like, okay, across like say all the social platforms plus everywhere else, what would be like my network level or number? And I think I averaged it out to about 5,000, right? And that's including me immortal things. So now I want to check it again and be like, okay, what does that number look like now? Just to give me an idea of like, okay, what's the influence level changed over that time? Is it worth even considering? So that's just one of those things.
Gotcha.
And then over into the mind, the soul. I'm going to aim to stop myself on my tracks when anger and stress begin, reflecting with patience and perspective. So this is probably just the last thing that I want to try and tackle in terms of often more at work or something frustrating might come up where the immediate anger might come out, and I think I've been good with just letting it sort of ease off and not acting on it, but trying to even cut it off now even more, like become a little bit more third party to my subconscious coming around and being like, oh no, like I'm conscious, like you're starting to get stressed or angry, like nah, stop this, or have that perspective or patience to let it either dwindle out or do something different. So that's one. I want to help out with any of the paperwork my sister needs for her property that she's been purchasing.
The Colombians taking over.
Mate,
this is how racism comes about. All the Colombians come in, they steal all the jobs, they steal all the houses. Where's all left for the Kyrin?
Speaking of Colombians, actually, just a very quick note, but in today's morning workout, I met this guy at the CrossFit gym, and I never seen him before, and like said hello, and he was like, "What's your name?" Andres, and I'm like, Juan, and he's like, "Oh, where are you from?" I'm like, "Colombia," and he's like, I'm Colombian too, and I'm like, man, I swear every time I meet someone, I swear they're Colombian.
Other people here tell me there's so many Brazilians and
I don't meet them. I've met like either. 2 of them. I meet all the Colombians.
Me too.
I swear to you, I've met all the Colombians. There's like 3 Colombians on this place.
And I barely wear this shirt out at all. So like, don't even think, Kyrin, you're only meeting Colombians because you're wearing your Colombian shirt. No, it's bizarre, man. I don't meet any other. I shouldn't say any other. I meet. It's got to be 90% Colombians in terms of Latinos.
It's got to be, for me.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
And the last one was make time to go get some photos with the family. So we've been trying to. So Mum wanted to do this back in April.
Yeah.
She wanted to go get some photos with the family.
Yeah.
Just literally photos, sepia, get all dressed up, go do that. Not like professional, but like funky.
Yeah.
We like.
This sounds so like your mum, man.
sounds so simple. Sounds so easy. Have not invested the time to do that. Like just weekends of things have come up. Like we'll plan it for like 3 weeks out, but then my sister's got work or whatever. But I'm like, nah, July, it's happening. It is happening. We're doing this.
Nice.
So that summarizes the 11 goals for the month.
Very good. It's
I want to say it's easy. There's some challenging ones in there, but doable. And so you can see no running. There's no running in July. Like I'm not even putting any pressure on the running this time. I'm not going to even pressure you at all to like, I think in the past, maybe like a month or 2 ago, I would have been like, well, Juan has a running going, like, making you feel bad for it. But honestly, like after my experience, it's just, I don't want to put anyone through that. Like, I don't want to contribute to more running being done in the world. How's that for a bloody... No more running.
How's that for a bloody thing?
There you go.
You upped your goals as well. You did 8 the month before, was that right?
12,
like you dropped...
No, 11 the last month. I dropped it from...
You dropped it for
a couple of months ago. I went from 12 to 8
and
then back up to 11 and then 11 again this time around.
Gotcha.
kept it nice and
Gotcha,
steady.
gotcha. Nice,
But I'm
nice.
looking forward to the yearly goals. So, anyways, that's
Yeah.
been the monthly goals for
Yeah,
July,
for
folks.
sure,
So,
for sure.
plenty from my side. Kyrin's going with the zippity 0, but for very, very good reasons. Tell us about your goals. It's mid-year, 6 months
Yeah.
in, right? 6 months in.
How do you set them? Do you set them on January 1st? If you do, you're doing it wrong. Don't do that. It's silly.
How are they going? If you set them on January 1st, though, how
Yeah,
are they going? Reflect on it. I want you to reflect. If comment on YouTube or wherever,
'Cause
if you've actually, did it January 1st and you're like nailing them all,
6 months through,
tell me about it.
halfway
Like,
through your year.
well done. 'Cause I would say that is incredibly good determination if you've done that. 'Cause that does have to be the 0.01%.
Yeah, I've listened to a couple of podcasts of people who it sounds like they get their shit. Like I've listened to one in January, and then they're still talking about goals, 4 or 5 months later, and I'm going, okay, they've somehow managed to do this, whereas, most people don't. But
Yeah.
I think I almost see it as a sign of like if you're starting your goals whenever, like on a random date on your birthday. For me, it just happened to be, I don't know why I chose October, but October 1st,
happened,
but
yeah.
that's just how it worked out. That's when I think like, okay, they're probably going to stick at it more. Like they're probably going to do it.
Yeah, because it's such a random day, you've specifically chosen to do it. It's like, okay, well, there's more impetus to actually do something than not because it's New Year's or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, folks, that's pretty much it from the Mere Mortals. I hope you enjoyed. If you're do all the good things. If you're watching on the video on YouTube, then comment, leave the thoughts. If you're listening,
What do you think of the animals that are floating
Yeah.
around? They just appear out of nowhere.
I know the guy. I didn't even see it pop up until like halfway through, like talking. And I'm like, oh man, there's something on here.
Yeah.
So
You're too worried about the spiders, not worried about the
geez.
possum
Creeping up on me.
hanging up on your
Dang.
microphone.
Audio wise, leave subscribe. We've seen a good trend coming up on the subscriptions. I'm not actually sure about the Apple side, but Spotify definitely. So join in with the Mere Mortalites that are listening out there. For now, folks, that's it though. One out.
Kyrin out.
Bang.